loved something so deeply that you kept trying even when everybody discouraged you? Today's story, The Pot Maker by Temsula Au, is a beautiful tale of passion, tradition, motherhood, and hidden sacrifices. So stay till the end because this story has an emotional twist that will definitely touch your heart. The story begins with a young girl named Centilla. Ever since she was old enough to go with her mother to the fields and forest, she dreamed of becoming a pot maker like her own mother, Arinla, and grandmother. But there was a problem. Her mother did not want her to become a potter. Instead, she wanted her to learn weaving. Why? Because pot making was extremely hard work and gave very little money in return. One night, Centilla secretly overheard her parents talking. Arinla complained about how difficult pot making was. She explained that the clay had to be brought from a river bank 16 kilometers away. Heavy loads had to be carried uphill. The clay needed to be softened by pounding, and after months of hard work, they earned only a few rupees. She believed weaving was easier, cleaner, and more profitable. This conversation helped Centilla understand her mother's pain, but it did not reduce her love for pottery. Centilla secretly visited expert potters. She carefully observed how clay was mixed with water, how the potters shaped the rotating clay, and how the spatula created the beautiful rhythm of tap, tap, tap. To Centilla, that sound was like music. She also learned how pots were dried in sunlight, arranged carefully in a kiln, and fired properly because too much or too little heat could destroy everything. Her fascination only grew stronger. Soon, the villagers started gossiping. People wondered why Arinla was refusing to teach her daughter. The village elders believed traditional skills belong to the whole community and must be passed to the next generation. So Centilla's father, Mesoba, was called before the village council. He politely explained that they only wanted Centilla to grow stronger after her illness. The elders warned him that the skills like pot making represented the culture and history of the people and should never disappear. Finally, Arinla agreed to teach Centilla. She taught her how to dig clay, carry it, soak it, and pound it into the soft dough. Centilla learned quickly, but when it came to shaping the pot, she failed again and again. No matter how hard she tried, she could not create a proper pot. Each time, Arinla silently took over and transformed the clay into something beautiful. For almost one whole year, Centilla struggled without success. Later, according to village custom, Centilla stayed in a girls' dormitory supervised by a kind widow called Onula. One evening, Onula saw Centilla secretly trying to make a pot. She noticed that Centilla was too tense and nervous. The clay seemed unwilling to cooperate. When Centilla finally gave up in frustration, Onula confronted her and said, "Don't worry, little one, I shall teach you." Onula then demonstrated the process calmly and patiently. This time, Centilla successfully made a beautiful pot. But Onula pointed out one mistake. The mouth of the pot was imperfect. She advised Centilla to carefully watch her mother's hand movement next time. One sunny day, Arinla and Centilla began making pots early in the morning. After completing her own batch, quickly, Arinla suddenly complained of headache and backache. She asked Centilla to continue alone. At first, Centilla hesitated, but then something amazing happened. Her hands started moving naturally. The rhythm came automatically. One pot after another appeared perfectly shaped. For the first time in her life, she worked with the same speed and skill as her mother. When she finally counted the pots, she had made only one less than Arinla. A new pot maker had truly emerged. Exhausted but happy, Centilla went inside the house to have a lunch with her mother. But then she saw Arinla lying on the floor. She was not breathing. Arinla had passed away. Centilla ran crying to help. The next morning, while her mother's body was being carried away, Centilla cried, "Mother, I did not wish it to happen this way. Please forgive me." Most villagers could not understand her words, but Onula understood. She later entered the workshed and saw 2 rows of pots standing side by side. One row made by Arinla and the other by Centilla, and there was no difference between them. At that moment, Onula realized something extraordinary. Arinla had silently transformed her skill and legacy to her daughter before dying. A new pot maker was born. So students, what is the theme of this story? The important themes: tradition and cultural heritage, mother-daughter relationship, hard work and perseverance, women's skill and identity, sacrifice and silent love, passing knowledge to the next generation. Let's see the character sketches. Centilla. Centilla is passionate, determined, hardworking, patient, and deeply respectful towards her mother's craft. Arinla. Arinla is a skilled pot maker, practical and hardworking, emotionally strict but loving, wanted a better life for her daughter. Onula, a kind, supportive, wise, great mentor. The pot maker is not just a story about pottery. It is a story about dreams, tradition, sacrifice, and the invisible bond between a mother and daughter. Sometimes love is not expressed through words, but through the skills, values, and legacy we leave behind. If you enjoyed this explanation, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Class 9